Have you ever asked yourself why we die? I'm not referring to explanations modern science attributes to why biological organisms cease to function. I'm referring to what it is about ourselves, our perceptive mechanisms, our reality, and our relationship with our higher self that places us on a path toward the eventual degradation and cessation of our biological existence on the physical earth realm. Many belief systems consider our carbon based bodies to be vessels that house our soul. Our soul lives forever, but our bodies have this finite span of existence. I feel there's a vital component missing in this equation. If we are our own gods and have complete control over our destiny, why have we chosen to kill ourselves? So let's take a look at the definition of kill. To kill is to cause the death or failure of a person or living thing. If we are our own gods, we have control over our realities. If we allow death to be a part of our reality, it's only because we chose to make it a part of our reality. Death is no different from the barrage of lies that have surrounded us since we entered this physical earth realm in our current incarnation. The lies we're told about our origins, the place we live, who or what God is, and what happens to us when we defy external authority are no different than the notion of death we're introduced to as we're being conditioned into the karmic cycle. Just think about it. From the beginning of our incarnation, we see people around us die. Stories about our existence involve death. Death is depicted in mythology and in every facet of the discursive media we're exposed to. Death is even sensationalized to the extent that we're taught how to die, how to prepare for death, how death is to be ceremonialized, and the concept of how the afterlife plays out is conveyed by the highest proclaimed authority, the church or religion. The story is simple. If we're convinced that we live on a spinning ball hurling through the infinite void of outer space and that we're here by accident, it undermines our significance and our divine purpose and makes us feel small. If we are convinced the lives in our bodies and on this physical earth realm will eventually end, and that story is coupled with mechanisms and industries that support it, we will, in fact, eventually experience that fate and die. Just as the notion that we live on a globe is a lie, I contend the notion that our life in our bodies on this physical earth realm will eventually end is a lie as well. After all, death is brought to you by the same institutions and people that are going out of their way to convince you that water sticks to a ball. Just think about it. It behooves us to be selective in what part of the lie we want to embrace. If we're rejecting what we are taught about our existence and where we live, but are finding relevance in the story we are told about death, it's important to begin asking ourselves how selectively embracing parts of the story we haven't questioned will play out in our spirit life journey. What I'm suggesting is that we begin exploring the virtue of thinking about death as yet another part of the deception, and thinking about what it would mean for us if death was missing from our life story, in the same way our belief in the globe, evolution, Santa Claus, and the tooth fairy no longer bear relevance to us. If you want to realize truth, realizing it in parts will keep you within the deception. All of us are working on this and are at different parts of our journey. The existence of death in our reality is one of many junctures of what we are unraveling. So, where do we go from here? Well, here are 6 steps you can take to avoid dying. Just kidding. Don't expect this to be a how to avoid death guide. That guide exists in your heart. Your higher self has put it there and is waiting for you to bring it out and use it. It's very easy to ask questions on the surface like, what'll happen to our carbon-based bodies if we don't die? Aren't our bodies considered limitations? Isn't a part of our imprisonment having to deal with the inferior properties of carbon-based bodies? I'm in no way trying to sell you on the infinite existence of a flesh suit for your soul, but realize that change doesn't happen suddenly. Just think about how many incarnations it took to bring you to where you are in your journey. None of this happened suddenly because you needed to take things in, make mistakes, learn, refine, and open doors. Besides, if all of this happened instantly, appreciating the strides that we've made in our life journey would be so short-lived. Pun intended, by the way. Transformation is at the very heart of our spirit life journey. A divine declaration that we shall not die doesn't necessarily leave us with this carbon-based flesh suit forever. Rather, what it does is it puts us in line with what is at the heart of our spirit life journey, which is transformation. Transformation is why we are on this journey. For those of us that have sanctified our intent with blood, the essence of transformation resonates in our being. Stay the course on your journey. Your carbon-based flesh suit will adapt and transform as is necessitated by your journey. It's your limitation, but perhaps a limitation that is necessary for your growth. That's all for now. Be well, sun gaze, and reject fear.